All right. Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much for your patience and for joining this session today. We have had a few technical issues, to set up that thing working correctly. But anyway, now we are ready. So, in today's session, we are going to discuss collaboration within Microsoft Office 365. And so basically, we had a question from one of our members telling us, that he or she is using Office 2010 and using old ways of sharing content, like sending email with attachment and everything. Let me have a look if I can find that quickly. No, it's here even. So, well, that user was wondering if he or she could be using something else than sending email attachment, and how could Office 365 or the new naming convention Microsoft 365 help the team in general to better collaborate. So that's the purpose of this session today. It's about collaboration with Microsoft 365. So we will have a look at OneDrive for Business, SharePoint, and Teams, and see how we can use them to better collaborate with the team. So this event is part of the meetup group Microsoft 365 for Uganda and that's the second event for this group. So we are yeah. I don't see the question anymore. Maybe okay. Where is it? Let's see if you can see. Okay, I don't retrieve the question in particular. But anyway, the question about here it is, our organization still uses Office 2010, mainly Excel, Word, and PowerPoint. File sharing is done in non-professional way. It's already good that, that user recognizes that it's not the best using emails and WhatsApp. And they have heard about Microsoft 365 being a collaboration tool and how can it improve the file sharing in an organization. So that's what we are going to review. So if you want to follow up with us and participate, ask questions, and follow up on the new trends with office productivity with Microsoft 365, well, you can register to that group, Microsoft 365 Office Productivity Uganda group, and be aware of what's happening. We meet once a month, currently actually virtually, but as soon as possible, hopefully we will resume physical meetup and discuss about how to best use the different applications available in Microsoft 365, the newest version of the Office Family Suite. Otherwise, you can also join some other groups that we have about business intelligence. We had a meeting this week, Microsoft Business Intelligence Uganda group, and otherwise we have another group for which we'll have our first meetup, most probably beginning of next month, October. So Azure Cloud Computing Uganda group. So quick introduction, my name is David and I am a Microsoft certified trainer with a certification in data analysis, business intelligence, and Azure Fundamental for cloud computing. My colleague Um, my colleague Marvin, who must be online, hopefully following with us, is the Chief Excel Officer for Vinix School of Software and the animator of the Excel group also on WhatsApp, who animates that group with me. So he's a co-organizer of that event as well, Marvin, secondly. Thank you very much for his collaboration and good spirit always to uh, promote good behavior with the Office application in general. Okay, let's go ahead and have a look at the different applications that we have. We've put in place this group because Microsoft 365 has many applications and it can be confusing about what we can do with all those different applications. And well, Microsoft releases every month new updates. Some less important than other, but at least 2 times a year there are very important updates that are released. And currently, well, we have had Microsoft Ignite a couple of days ago and major releases as well at this period of the year. So for Windows desktop, well, Windows and Microsoft application as well. So you could see a lot of differences with the different application. I am using Microsoft 365, the latest version of Microsoft. We will see the cloud-based version, or the one internet, not the desktop one. And you might have differences maybe, okay, with what you have depending on the version that you have with your plan, or even the type of license that you could have as well. So it could be slightly different. And if you are trying to follow up with a personal version or family version of Microsoft 365, you wouldn't have SharePoint because that's really dedicated to business, SharePoint, but at least you would have OneDrive and okay, you wouldn't have either Teams also, you wouldn't have it. You could have a personal version, but not the business one. So that Microsoft 365 version is really for business, and it's really dedicated for collaboration with the team. So what are the best way of sharing files? Well, we have 3 applications that I'm thinking about that are really dedicated to collaboration. We have OneDrive, OneDrive for business, file sharing and storage in the cloud. And with the plan that we have, we can have 1 terabyte of storage, which is quite huge. And you can sync it with your desktop and work with the files on the go from any computer, any device that you could have, even your smartphone, your tablet, your laptop, any desktop. You can access your files from OneDrive and continue working with them. You can share them with your colleagues and see also files that have been shared with you also. SharePoint works similarly as with OneDrive. Actually, okay, in the background of OneDrive, it's actually an extension of SharePoint. Just that SharePoint contains 3 main products inside, or sub-products. You have internal websites, so you have the capacity to create internal website only seeable by your organization, lists, and libraries of files that you can share with your team. Okay, so let's have a look at OneDrive. We can open it in a different tab, and we can open as well SharePoint in a different tab, and we can open Teams. Those are the 3 applications that you would use to collaborate with your team and share files. And we can open also a different session. I wanted to we are going to open as soon as I retrieve the name of another member of the organization. I will open a new browser, and we will see how we can work with that other person. So perfect. We are going to take actually that name, Nestor. So what's the okay, hopla. Let's use that. Let's open a new one as guest. Okay. So okay. So we have our three applications open in a new tab. So we are all going to remain within a browser environment, and we have our file storage in the cloud. And another way to access it is simply by syncing that library, so we can sync it with our desktop and work from our desktop environment with those files. So for instance, here I have Windows File Explorer. Wait a minute. Open. I have Windows File Explorer, and I have different OneDrive environments that are available here, and libraries as well. So different libraries available, and different OneDrive that are available from here as well, that are synced directly with my with my desktop. So it gives me the possibility to access very easily those files and work directly, so from my desktop. The same type of files that I have here in the cloud, I can have them as well accessible from my desktop. Okay, let's try and connect again here. So we can see actually that some of those files are shared with someone else. We can see that here, even though okay, those names are actually in French, but we can see that some of them are shared. We can see the icon is slightly different. So those are accessible by other members of the organization. And we can review also what are the sharing permission for those files. So if I click on the three dots here of the file, I can access other properties for that file. Okay, so it seems the internet is a little bit slow, giving us a little bit some problem. Okay, anyway, so if well, I'm going to click on that icon, which is specific for sharing that element with other people within the organization, and I can review what are the settings for sharing of that file. So it seems to take a little bit time. Let me see. Okay. Okay, let us review a little bit what we have. We have different libraries also available on the left side. Those are actually SharePoint libraries that are available from OneDrive directly. So those are team groups that that any member of those teams can access the content of those libraries. So SharePoint is the storage in the cloud for a team, and we can see those libraries are available on the left side. Those are actually SharePoint sites, and with SharePoint we have three sub products: SharePoint sites with the possibility to create a website accessible for the organization, and libraries, so shared folders with the team members of that library, and as well lists that can be created. Lists can be a very good alternative to using Excel. So OneDrive, SharePoint, and okay, I want to open that library actually. Well, it's currently being opened, but again, it seems we have a little bit latency with internet. We can have a look at Teams, which give us the possibility to chat with the with colleagues and share file and work within Teams on the same file together. So actually here I have a file which is being shared with my colleague Nestor, who has access to that file at the same time as I have access, and we can work together on that file simultaneously. And I wish I could do that. Okay. All right, let's do without Nestor over there. We are going to go back to our files and try to open that again. The sharing option to see, okay, what are the different parameters that we have to share a file. Here we go. All right, so when sharing a file, we have different options that are available to us. Instead of sending an attachment per email, we can simply click on that icon just before the file name within within OneDrive, but it would be the same also within File Explorer. The step would be the same. Within File Explorer, we would just right click on the file and choose within the option the share feature. Here within OneDrive Online, we click on the small icon. When we hover over the file name, we have that share icon that when we click on it, gives us different options for sharing. So we can eventually share with anyone that has the link and give edit permission for that file, or we could choose different options. So this one give the possibility to anyone, even outside of the organization, to access that file and edit it. Then we have the possibility to share the file within the organization to anyone who has the link, but only within the organization of Umastra BI. And furthermore, we have two other options. The one other option is to share with people with existing access. So if you have already set up some specific access, you could choose this one, or you could specify who are the people that can access it. So you would enter the name of those people and precise exactly who can access it. So if I choose specific people, that's the most restrictive sharing possibility, I need to enter clearly the name of that person, which would be, do we have Adele? Yeah, we have Adele. So we can share it with Adele, and only Adele will be able to access that file and edit it. So that's a way of sharing it instead of sending an email. And Adele will receive an alert, a message informing her that a file has been shared with her and that she can access it from her OneDrive. On the left side, there is the shared with the icon of the two person. So we can send that information. Eventually we can write a message, optional. We can write a message to Adele to tell her, okay, I have shared this file with you. Okay, check it out and blah blah blah. Okay. Another possibility is also to copy the link and share it directly within Teams or something like that. So we can, yeah, now when we click on the three dots, we have also access to a contextual menu, which gives us the possibility to act with that file. We can share it from here, and we should be able to review also different options that are available for managing access from here. So if I click on managing access, I should be able to open the sharing options on the right side and to review what access I gave currently to the different members, or if I gave an external access to that file. So we can see here that we have a link which is available for that file. If I want to stop the sharing, I could just click on the small dot and remove the type of access. I can just click here actually to delete access. We can see that currently that file is shared with Nestor. This we can see. We can change what type of permission that person has over that file. That person can edit that file or just read the file without editing permission. So I can change here and save the modification that I have applied and close that window. Let's see if we can refresh that page and have it in English. Yeah, now we have it in English. Okay, very good. So it's the same principle. We click on the three dots. We have a contextual menu that opens, and manage access. We click on it, and here we can see the type of access that we have. We can see that one person has currently, that link works with Nestor only and not any other people currently. Okay, so we can eventually click on the three dot and remove access again, also stop sharing, and that icon should change as well since we don't have anymore. Okay, now it seems internet is a bit better. Let's try and log in. So now we can see that for that file I have removed the sharing permission, so now it's private again. It's back to private. I had before. Okay, so now it's private. Okay, so that file is private again now. So we can, that's how we can share the file. Okay, for the files that we have, we would click on the small icon beside, give a certain permission, we can mention here, okay, the email address, and we can set from the beginning if the person is allowed to edit or not, and set eventually an expiration date for that file. We can eventually protect it with a password as well if you want, if that file contains sensitive information. Okay, let's see, up to connect as Nestor. I'm not even sure what's my password again. Okay, we shall do it without for now because I'm not so sure what's my password again. Okay, let's have a look at SharePoint, what we have. So we have opened a SharePoint site which is Fumastra BI Global, which we find also within OneDrive. We can access it to that shared library here. We can review within SharePoint, we have different components. We can have access to conversation, so that will open Outlook. Documents, so that's going to be the library that we could have access from here as well, from OneDrive. Okay, and we have access to a notebook, which is OneNote, actually, OneNote Online. We can access pages, so pages is basically the intranet website, okay, so the internal website to the organization. And we have lists that are available here. So those actually are custom lists that I created. QB chart of account, class, main category, main requests. Those are actually custom lists that I created. And then other access as well. So we are currently within the library, and that's what the most important. On the right side, we can see how many members have access to that library. Here we can see that 18 members have access to that library. And actually the name indicates that it's global, so anybody in the organization can access that library. And by default, each time we have a new member, that new member will be part of that group and will have access to all the files of that library. So all those people currently are members and have access to the files and folders within that library. And we can change eventually what role they would play within that group. A member, or eventually if I want to give them ownership, or if I want to remove them as well from that group. So we have access to the list of all the members of that library that will have access to all the files that are within that library. And if I go back to OneDrive and let's say that this file, I want to make it available within that library, I could also decide to move it. So I would click on the three dots, I could choose move and move it to the library, and like this everybody will have access to that file. So we are going to move it to Fumastra BI Global and choose a specific place, which is the folder in which we are going to place that file to organize it. Okay, so we have choose a destination. We can choose this one, general. It's taking a bit long, and we can move it. Okay, let's move it like this. So it's going to move away from this page, and it's gonna be available, okay, in this place. So let's refresh our browser. going to see if we can have okay, let's see. I don't see it yet. Has it moved? Let's try again. Okay, we click on the three dots beside the name, we go to move, we shift it to a new location, choose the destination, so Fumatra BI Global, we choose the general folder and we move there. Okay, maybe the first time moving, okay, we can see moving one item. Maybe the first time it didn't work. I think internet is a bit slow today. Yeah, as we are streaming also, it takes a lot of bandwidth, so it has not worked as expected. We couldn't move that file because it's locked for editing. Oh, okay. I think I closed the tab, so it shouldn't be modified or deleted. Okay, let's do another file. We can move offre produit. We can click on this one, move to Fromastro BI general and move there. Okay, moving one item to general. We are going to see that it goes to the other place. All right, now it has moved. Okay, moving one item. Okay, does it disappear from this list? We can go now to our SharePoint library. We can see that our new file is here, available by any member of that group. So any one of the 18 members will be able to access that file and work on that file. So that's how we can share with the team. And actually in our teams, we have also this team group in which we have Fumastra BI Global. So that's the channel in which we can also chat with the team members and work on the same file. So we can see that from OneDrive, we have moved one file to SharePoint, to a SharePoint library that has 18 members, and now that file is available for any of those 18 members to work with it. So those applications are actually interrelated and working very well together. From Teams, we can access those files as well. We can see that from Teams, in the team that has the same name as the SharePoint library or the Office 365 group, we can access those files as well. From the top of the window, we have files, and we can access the files that are available within that library. Now it's there. Okay, so we have our file available, so we can access it and work with it with the team. Okay, so any member of that team will be able to access that file and work on it, and we can even work from here, from within Teams. Actually, Team is very practical because we don't need to especially move out of Teams, and with the latest version of Microsoft 365, there is the possibility to work within your browser and even within Teams directly. So you could have Teams online from your browser, or you could have the Teams app that you could use to collaborate. um, and open files within Teams and work with your colleagues on that. And when another user is connected to that file, you can see also that other user. You would see an icon up there with eventually the name of that user who is currently editing also that file, and you would see which location is that user. So the cell that the user selected, you would see that as well, and you would be able to chat with your colleague on the progress on that file, or just exchange on the different topics of that file. So that's how collaboration is done in Microsoft 365, using OneDrive, SharePoint, and Teams all together to share files and collaborate on those files. If you have any question, don't hesitate to ask. You can ask in the chat, and tell me if you want to see something in particular, so that we try and answer your questions and address different concerns. We can have a look at this other SharePoint library, sales team, which should be restricted to another number of members. Okay. Let's have a look at that library. We can go back to SharePoint and look at sales team, and we can see that this SharePoint library has 4 members. So this one is a bit more restricted. We are 4 who can have access to that specific folder, and collaborate together on that team. So we can have a look at the documents that are available in it. We have, as usual, the general folder that can be accessed by any of those members. Okay, I'm going to do something quickly. I'm going to display. Okay, I need to do something quickly, so I'm going to remove that. Have a look. Okay. What I'm trying to do is just trying to remember the password that I use for that account in particular, so that I can connect with another user and show you how it goes with a different user. So let me try and grab that password. If I find it anyway. which is not sure. Okay, let me, maybe we can just reset it. Okay, just 1 minute. I'm trying to retrieve that password. We are going to see if we can connect. Hopefully I can retrieve it and access from a different user to have a different perspective. Just internet is being a little bit slow. Okay, let's go back. Hopla, we are back. Okay. All right, we are back. So let's see, now we can enter our password. It's taking a bit time to load. So who has access again to that file? Let's have a look. What are the different members for? Internet is being very slow, very slow. Okay, so we are trying to open the file from the perspective of Nestor, but apparently, okay, it doesn't want to let us go there. Seems to be a bit difficult to access. Okay, it has given us authorization to proceed. Okay, we can eventually add a member. Actually, we want to have Nestor to be part also of that group and have access to those files. So we are going to include Nestor. As we wait for it to display. Okay. All right, well, I think we won't get much better than that. The internet has been very slow and not very collaborative, so we are going to end the session from here. Well, basically, the three applications that you would need for collaboration and replacing email with attachment would be OneDrive, which is your own personal storage within the organization in the cloud, and you have up to 1 TB of storage that you can use within OneDrive and share your files within your organization or even outside of the organization with different colleagues and give them access and different type of access. As we have seen, we can give write permission or editing permission or just viewing permission to those files. So if I click on the icon for sharing, I have the possibility to share that file with different members, different rights that I can give to that file, and different permission as well. So we have also access to items that have been shared with me. So if I have members that have shared some content with me, they can access it from here as well. So they can see it here directly. And what I have shared, so shared with me and shared by me. So I have shared that file. Now I have access to the different libraries, which are actually SharePoint Library on the left side, or I can go directly to SharePoint and have access to the different SharePoint sites that exist within the organization. If I want to create a new SharePoint site, I can do that also from the main domain name of SharePoint and create a new site from here. From there, I choose whether it is a public group or a private group, what type of group it's gonna be. So again, internet is not very responsive, so we won't be able to see the steps, but we can create easily a group from here, give add different members, so whether it is going to be a team site or communication site. Most probably what you would need is the team site, which gives you the possibility to share documents, have conversation with your team, keep track of events, manage tasks, and more with a site connected to an Office 365 group. So we would choose this one, we give it a name, we click next, and we choose whether it's going to be public or private, and so on. And that very simple steps, okay, to create another SharePoint site. So we can close that and go back to well, it has still not opened. So anyway, we would have just seen from Nestor perspective, okay, how to access the files. So the third application, which is very useful and quite important, is Teams, that give you the possibility to really chat with your team. So have a team collaboration on some documents, like with Nestor, for instance. Okay, we have this file in common, so we can both open it and work on it together on that very file. I wish I could have demonstrated that, but it seems impossible. It seems internet has not given us the possibility to do that. Okay, here we go. Let's go to OneDrive. Let's open SharePoint, and we can open Teams also from that user. And now we have, so on the right side, I am connected as Nestor, and on the left side I am connected as myself, as David. And well, with Teams open, I'm chatting with Nestor, so I can send him a message, chat. And now Nestor is receiving that message. Okay, so we can see it here actually. So now we can chat and collaborate on a file. Okay, so now Nestor has written back, and we can open that file. So myself as David, and Nestor as Nestor. So let's open that file and see together how we can collaborate instead of sending an email. So we can see that, okay, well, we have a message that shows that new changes were made by David. So we are here again as Nestor. We can see that we have the icon that David is currently online and editing on that page. And on the other side, where we can see that Nestor is online and editing on that page. So go to location, which is actually here. Okay, Nestor is here. So we can see, okay, on the right side we can see, okay, well, that's a message I placed before. Yeah, that's where we can see, okay, that's what I wanted to show. I can see where Nestor is currently and what he's doing, and I can see myself from Nestor's side. So So we can correct that. So let's say, okay, I guess we could discuss. So actually we need to delete that, which is not correct. Delete. We can see that Nestor was here, and I can see the editing instantly happening in the file. So that's how we can collaborate with the team on the same file. We could open it within Teams and work together at the same time. So Nestor is here while me, I am down here. I'm just at this one. And whatever Nestor does with that file, it reflects instantly on my side as well. And we can eventually have a conversation with that, and which is the chat of Teams. Okay, and it will well, Nestor receive the message and can interact as well. We can comment on the document and decide what to do, so we don't need to be especially side by side. All right, that's it. I guess we are done. If you have any question, please ask. Otherwise, we can meet during the next meetup. And I hope you enjoyed that session, even so it has a little bit some difficulties with internet. It was a bit slow, but we made it anyway. Thank you very much for watching, and hope to see you next time in a next virtual event. All right, nice evening and nice weekend.